Today we're addressing a major financial policy topic that is rapidly becoming one of the most debated personal finance issues in America. The idea of using your 401k, your retirement savings, to buy a house. This isn't hypothetical. The U.S. federal government is proposing changes that could allow Americans to tap 401k accounts for home down payments. That has huge implications for your financial future, retirement security, taxes, and life planning. And if you're thinking about home ownership, or even just keeping your retirement on track, you need to understand exactly what's happening, why it matters, and what it truly means for your money. Over the next 30 minutes, you'll hear what the proposal is and why it's being discussed now, how 401k rules currently work, the tax penalty and growth consequences of early withdrawals, arguments for and against using retirement money for housing, real alternatives, and strategic financial planning pathways. So let's dive in and unpack this thoroughly. The idea of using retirement savings for home purchases has recently resurfaced in national policy discussions. Economic advisors to the White House have publicly stated that the federal government is developing a policy framework that would allow Americans to use funds from their 401k plans, likely without the steep penalties that currently apply, to make a down payment on a home. According to Reuters and multiple news reports, this initiative is part of a broader push to address housing affordability challenges in the United States. Home prices and mortgage costs have risen significantly in recent years, driven by supply shortages, higher interest rates, and shrinking inventory. The proposed plan is intended to give prospective homeowners greater access to capital at a time when saving for the often steep down payments required for modern home purchases can be a multi-year challenge. While supporters frame this as a practical tool to help families achieve homeownership, it's important to recognize that official rules on how this would work are still under negotiation, and any implementation will likely require legislation and regulatory changes. That means, as of today, this proposal is not yet law. It's being debated and refined, but it is gaining serious traction in policy discussions, especially as lawmakers look for ways to reduce affordability pressures for middle-income households. To understand the significance of this proposed change, we need to break down how 401k retirement plans currently operate. A 401k is a defined contribution retirement account offered by an employer that allows individuals to contribute pre-tax dollars. The money grows tax-deferred over time, meaning you don't pay federal income tax on earnings until you withdraw during retirement. Payroll deductions make it easy to build savings consistently over decades. Under current IRS rules, withdrawals from a 401k before age 59, 1C12 generally trigger medical emergencies or education expenses, but home purchases are not a standard exception for 401ks. That's different from IRAs, where first-time homebuyers can withdraw up to $10,000 penalty-free under specific conditions. Loans from your 401k may be possible depending on your plan and generally avoid taxes and penalties if repaid on time, but they come with their own risks. So under the current rules, using a 401k to buy a house tends to be expensive and discouraged. This new policy proposal seeks to change that core assumption. If you were to withdraw money from your 401k today to buy a house, the tax implications alone could be severe. Early withdrawals are taxed as ordinary income, and a 10% penalty is added if you're under the standard age threshold. On top of that, you could owe state income tax depending on where you live. For example, if someone takes $25,000 out early and is in the 22% tax bracket, that distribution could cost more than $7,000 in income taxes and penalties, and that's before state taxes. But the real cost often isn't just what you pay immediately, it's the compounding growth you forfeit by removing funds from a long-term investment vehicle. Fidelity Investments research suggests that early 401k withdrawals could shave tens of thousands of dollars off a retirement balance purely through lost compound growth. That's true whether the withdrawal is for a home purchase or any other reason. The structural tax and penalty costs still apply. Proponents of allowing 401k withdrawals for home down payments argue several key points. Affordability crisis. Many Americans, especially younger generations, struggle to save enough outside of retirement to make a down payment, particularly in high-cost housing markets. Flexibility. Allowing earlier access to retirement funds would give households more flexibility, especially if they are disciplined about replacing withdrawn funds over time. Wealth building through home equity. Supporters claim that home ownership builds wealth that can benefit retirees, suggesting that equity growth could offset some retirement savings losses. Market effects. This could help stimulate the housing market by shifting demand to owner-occupied homes rather than investor-owned units. One variation of the proposal discussed in policy circles is allowing home equity to be reinvested back into the 401k over time, theoretically preserving retirement value while letting homeowners realize growth in their property investment. These arguments emphasize real concerns. The housing affordability squeeze is a documented structural issue in the U.S. economy, and similar reforms are part of broader housing reform discussions. However, critics, including many retirement security experts, warn that allowing 401k withdrawals for home purchases could undermine the primary purpose of a retirement account, ensuring financial security in old age. Reducing lifetime savings and increasing risk of financial hardship in older age. Home prices and mortgage debt can be unpredictable. If someone drains retirement funds to buy a home, and then the market declines or personal circumstances change, they could be left with both less retirement savings and a diminished home value. Removing tax-advantaged funds from retirement accounts changes the fundamental incentives of retirement saving. Fewer funds available for long-term growth may increase reliance on Social Security or later life employment. In other words, critics see this kind of reform as a trade-off between short-term housing relief and long-term financial stability. Many financial advisors caution against tapping retirement accounts unless there is no other realistic option. So if using your retirement account for a home purchase is risky, what are the alternatives? 1. Build a dedicated down payment fund. Setting up a separate savings plan specifically for home buying outside of retirement accounts helps preserve tax-advantaged growth in your 401k while still working toward home ownership. 2. Explore 401k loans if allowed. Some plans permit loans of up to $50,000 or 50% of your vested balance, often without immediate penalties as long as you repay on time. 3. Maximize other tax-advantaged accounts. For example, Roth IRA conversions can allow future penalty-free access to funds after a 5-year window, though this still requires careful planning. 4. Government homebuyer support programs. There are many federal, state, and local programs designed to assist first-time buyers without tapping retirement accounts. 5. Improve credit and reduce costs. Higher credit scores and lower debt ratios often lead to better mortgage terms, which can reduce the necessary down payment and monthly burden. All of these strategies emphasize building financial flexibility without compromising retirement security. In summary, the proposal to use your 401k for a home down payment is one of the most significant retirement policy discussions happening right now in the United States. It's driven by very real housing cost issues and may become law, but it also has enormous implications for retirement readiness and financial planning. Whether or not this becomes a widely accepted practice, the core takeaway remains. Retirement funds are powerful long-term tools, and withdrawing them early, even for something as significant as a house, should be done only after careful consideration and comprehensive financial planning. If you're planning for home ownership and retirement at the same time, your best strategy almost always involves preservation of retirement savings, tax-efficient investments, and professional financial advice tailored to your unique situation.